Save your money at Chase Bank and they will pay you 0.01%. Go over to Bank of America and they'll give you 0.03%. But if you go to Wells Fargo, they will pay you 0.01%. What the heck? What's up everybody, I am Jaspreet Singh and welcome to the Minority Mindset. You've been smart with your money, you've been living below your means, you've been saving a little bit of money and you've been investing some of your money every time you get paid. Oh yeah, but if you look over at your bank savings account statements, you might realize that your bank account is paying you squat, nada, nothing. I know, your savings are not there to make you wealthy, but it would be nice if your savings didn't have to just sit there and do nothing. This way it's not slowly being eaten away by inflation. I mean, is that so much to ask from our banks that we give our life savings to? That's why in this video, I'm gonna be going over why your bank account pays you nothing and how you can get a better return on your savings while keeping your money safe. So make sure you watch this video until the end. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that thumbs up button below and subscribe to the Minority Mindset YouTube channel. That way you don't miss our new financial education videos every single weekend. Hit that little notification bell too, because if you don't, then YouTube doesn't let you know when our new videos are released. First, let's start by understanding how the banking system works. I'm not going to do a full in-depth analysis in this video because I've already talked about this before. So here's a quick summary. You have $100 that you do not want to keep under your mattress. So you go to your bank. This is you. Let me draw you a nice mustache. You go to your bank and you deposit this $100 into your savings account so you can keep your money safe. That's when your bank will take your $100 and they will give you a lollipop. So here is your lollipop. But your money doesn't just sit there in a vault somewhere. Your bank is gonna use your money. They're gonna use your $100 to make the bank more money. Now watch this. Your bank is gonna take this $100 that you deposited and they're gonna give some of it to Bunty here. This way he can go and buy things on his credit card. They're gonna loan some of it to Nancy so she can go and buy a big house. And they're gonna loan some of it to George here so he can go and finance his dream car. Or they're gonna give George that money this way he can go and finance his dream boat. Don't be like George. So now your bank is gonna make something like 25% interest on this credit card they gave to Bunty if he doesn't make his payments on time. They're gonna make something like 4% on Nancy with her mortgage, and they might make another, I don't know, 6% on this boat that they help finance for George. Sure, your bank might not lend out all $100 you deposit. They'll save a couple dollars in a vault just for protection, but the bank has a superpower called fractional reserve lending, which allows them to turn this $100 you deposited into something like $1,000 or $2,000, something between there. That way they can loan out your $100 again and again and again. This fractional reserve lending essentially says that banks have the power to print money out of thin air, and yes, it is legal for banks, but it is illegal for you. If you try to do that, you would end up in jail, and no, I will not represent you as your attorney. That means your bank is gonna make somewhere between 4% and 25% in interest from this $100 that you deposited into the bank, and the bank is gonna make that interest again and again and again from your money. And in exchange, as a thank you for making the bank rich, your bank will pay you with a lollipop and almost nothing in interest on your savings. Now, these low interest rates that you're getting are partially because two, interest rates are historically low. The Federal Reserve Bank, or the Fed for short, sets the benchmark for interest rates in America. When the Fed increases interest rates, your payments on your mortgage, your student loans, your car loans go up. The bright side here is that the interest rate on your savings account goes up too. When the Fed lowers interest rates, then the payments on your mortgage, your student loans, and your car payments come down. But that also means that the interest rate on your savings account comes down, so your bank will pay you less money on your savings. After the 2008 crash, the Fed cut interest rates drastically to stimulate the economy because they made it easier and cheaper for people and businesses to borrow money. Interest rates stayed close to zero for years, but then in 2015, once the economy started to recover, the Federal Reserve started increasing interest rates again, and they kept doing this through 2018, and then in 2019, the Federal Reserve took a U-turn and then they started cutting interest rates again. To put it in perspective, in the mid-1980s, a savings account would pay you something like 7% a year, but a mortgage would cost you something like 12% in interest a year. In the mid-1990s, a savings account would pay you something like 5% a year on your money, but a mortgage would cost you something like 8% a year. And now here in 2020, a traditional savings account will pay you less than 0.1% a year. That's 0.1% in interest a year, but a mortgage will cost you something like 4% a year. But what I want you to understand is that right now, you don't have to blindly accept these super low interest rates on your savings account because 3, some banks are getting with the times. Ever since Amazon came online and took Borders out of business in 2011, more and more businesses are starting to come onto the internet because they're seeing the power of the internet. I mean, the internet is great because 1, it's cheaper for businesses to operate, it is more convenient for customers, and it allows businesses to access more customers. Well, finally, some banks are starting to see and do the same thing. Your traditional brick and mortar banks have a lot of overhead. You have to pay for rent at these really nice buildings. You have to pay for the salaries for the tellers and bankers who have to sit there and wait for you to come in. You have to pay for electricity to keep the lights on, and you have to pay for all the lollipops. With these higher expenses come lower interest rates on your savings. But thanks to our sponsor CIT Bank, you can move your money to an online savings account, you can get a much better interest rate, and you can pay no monthly maintenance fees. It is really easy to open an online savings account and it's very quick. I know this because I bank with CIT Bank. Once you open a free high interest savings builder account, you can transfer some of your savings there and then you'll start to get this higher interest, and everything is super easy to track because they have a mobile app so you can see where your money is and you can see how much interest you're earning every single month. Plus your money is safe because CIT Bank is FDIC insured. I mean, they're a real bank. The main difference is they're online, so they have less overhead so they can pay you higher interest. That means your savings can earn you more money. Conditions do apply, so if you want to learn more and see how much more you can earn on your savings, I got the links to where you can do that in the description below. Minority Mindset is a partner with CIT Bank, so if you use them, we will get compensated, but there's no additional cost to you. It's free to open an account and it's free to save your money there. So if you want to learn more and you want to see what their current interest rates are on their savings builder accounts, I got the link to where you can do that in the description below. And number 4, traditional banks don't feel the need to pay you anything. Look, let's look at this practically. A lot of your traditional brick and mortar banks have been in business for a long time. That means they have a lot of loyal customers who have been with them for decades, and they like coming into the bank and depositing their checks and asking their banker all their financial questions. Hey George, listen to me. Look, I think you should take out a home equity line of credit. That way you can finance that boat you've been dreaming about, and we got a great promotion going on right now. So not only do they not want to pay you anything, but they don't feel the need to because George keeps coming in to finance new boats. If you don't believe me, just look at the numbers. Between 2015 and 2018, interest rates didn't go up 1 time or 2 times or 5 times. They went up 9 times, but the interest rate on your savings account at most traditional banks didn't budge. They stayed at nothing. We're living in a time where people are just used to getting nothing from their savings account. I mean, it's just normal for your bank not to give you anything. Maybe this will change in the future as more and more people go to online banks, but who knows? But until then, you don't have to be stuck getting paid nothing. Remember, I got the information to how you can get higher interest rate on your savings in the description. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, share with one friend. That way we can help spread the word. I hope you enjoyed learning more about why banks are paying you nothing. But if you want to learn more about how the banking system actually works, I already broke this down on YouTube and you can watch it by clicking this button right over here. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.